Hi, this is Allison coming to you from my studio in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I thought I would follow up to the video that I had done yesterday working out of this concertina, or I believe somebody had thoughtfully left the comment that this type of folded book is also called Zine, Z-I-N-E. So thank you to the follower that had shared that. And I was showing how I made these 5x7-inch collages out of kind of inspiration by having this huge folded piece of paper that I had done a painting on and just decided to work on over the last couple months of the summer, doing collage and mixed media. It just felt a bit more accessible than sitting down and specifically, deciding, okay, I'm going to make this many mixed media or collage paintings of this size. I had this beautiful little book that just happened to be each page that measured just over 5x7 inches. So it was great because I was able to find my 5x7-inch mat out of my mat kits, which I'm going to share a little bit about today. And I think this was just a really great practice for me. So first, what I'm going to do is, I thought today's going to be a fairly straightforward video. I'm not going to be doing probably any painting or any art, but I'm going to talk about the process of matting these and using sort of a foam core backing and getting them in a crystal clear bag for storage and for later for selling and shipping. So these are some that I had just tore out of the first journal that I had showed you in my video yesterday, and some of them I've not finished yet, but they're just these little works in progress with a whole bunch of mixed media elements that really have given me a jumping off point for my art. I love the practice of keeping sketchbooks and art journals, and as you can see, again, this was a painting on the back side of a very large sheet of watercolor paper. I had folded it up and I had glued a new base over the top of the painting that was underneath. So you can kind of see here that green was the former watercolor painting. This, I was practicing my signature and cleaning off my brush. So that's part of the back side of that one. And it's pretty amazing how you can take a mat and really zero in on a painting and look at all the design elements, the sort of the principles of art, everything from color to texture to line, composition, sort of the overall feel. Just having this viewfinder that is a beautiful white mat is just a new way of seeing something. So I thought I would share with you how I store these before I sell them, and a really great way to also photograph them. So I am just going to, I think what I'm going to do today, so I've made many of these books. I was gifted a really lovely book, and I just wanted to share this. It's called Beasts with a Backstory, a collection of well-dressed animals and their personal stories. Artwork and stories by Stephanie Thomas. And Stephanie Thomas lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And there's a nice little bit of information with her photo on the back. And I will add this to the description, but she can be found on Instagram at Bright and Beautiful Beasts. And this is just a lovely gift idea, for the creative in your life, and someone that maybe just needs something joyful and humorous to kind of brighten their day. And I thought I would just share with you some of her artwork and just pick a page. One page that had stood out that I'd read this morning, Chloe Cow. So this is Stephanie's sweet cow, and I'll just read what it says. A world traveler, Chloe recently met and was blessed by the Pope while visiting Italy. Now she's a holy cow. When she tells others about it, most say that that's bull and accuse her of milking it. Next month, Chloe embarks on another trip, and this time to India, where she hears cows are viewed as sacred. So it's a very kind of short and sweet book. There's not a lot of pages, 20 pages, but just for somebody you know that loves animals and loves kind of quirky artwork, and it's just such a sweet little gift. So I just wanted to share Stephanie's art, and I was so grateful to be gifted this book. And I am always inspired by Uppercase magazine. So this magazine is printed here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and it's just a wonderful resource for artists. Here's a whole page on cyanotypes. And I went through this the other evening when I was laying in bed, and I just kind of tagged some pages that I wanted to go back to. So as you know, it's been collage has been on my mind, but some other things that have been on my mind. Just this past year, I was working on carving my own rubber stamps. And so there was a really good few articles on rubber stamps and sort of some of their history, and just really an interesting book for creatives. The scientific method for creativity. And so this is cute. It says, asking a question, observing the world, doing the research. So that's sort of the play part of artwork, which I love, is just, you know, finding a new supply or experimenting with a new technique or color, and just not overthinking what the outcome is going to be, but answering the question, what if? Developing the concept and experimenting. And then there's the critique and the conclusion, so having sort of a final piece. And for me, art is very much about the process versus the final destination, but it's also pretty amazing when you have found your style and you get to a place where you can complete something. So art journals and sketchbooks for me are a place where I can kind of experiment with those questions, like what if I painted around this cutout? What if I glued this paper bag on here or added this really vibrant color? What if I incorporate watercolor over top of acrylic? And I know that I learned so much in this process, and although some pages may not turn out quite the way that I like them, or, you know, I think, is this just a waste of time? Why am I doing this? I remind myself that there's so much that I'm learning. And when it comes time to, you know, maybe have a canvas that's sitting in front of me and breaking that blank page, my mind will go back to all the experience I have of these playful explorations using this scientific method of creating, and really kind of honing in on what it is that brings me joy and what works and what doesn't. And it's quite amazing how practice leads to progress. Did I say that right? Yeah, progress makes perfect, not practice makes, okay. What am I trying to say? Instead of practice makes perfect, practice makes progress. Is that right? That's so funny. Okay, I don't edit my videos, so that's staying in there. And oh, funny, I had to add this little canvas print that I had done a while ago. This is on canvas material. I put this in the thumbnail of this video, so I always take a quick picture of my table, often before I record the video, often because I tend to get quite busy, and so when I finish recording my video, I upload it, and then I put in the description, and then I'm off to, you know, pick up my son or I'm often kind of cramming things into my day. So I was looking for sort of something to go in that thumbnail that would make it appealing, and this just was the closest thing to me that seemed to go. Anyways, so I'm not talking about prints today, and I am gonna go back and just see, I'm pretty sure I had found some pages that were inspiring me for collage. Oh yeah, this one I found quite inspirational. Just this artist that was doing just using so much color, and I haven't read this yet, but I believe paper, Angie Barker. And this is just sort of a little interview with her in the book, the magazine. And oh yeah, I see all these cutouts around here. And just, you know, looking at what does an appealing collage or mixed media piece, what does that mean to you? What does that look like? I love the little bits of black and white with all the color. And it just sort of reminded me that sometimes, you know, keeping things more simple can also be really effective when you kind of hone in on that authentic style. A little bit more on printmaking, and yeah, there's just so much in these magazines. They're wonderful. And Janine does sell back issues on the website, so I think that's really great. Okay, so what I wanted to do, I didn't have a lot of time today, but I'm going to tear off with my ruler just a few of these collages that I'm interested in working on and framing aside from this book. So I'm just gonna see if I can flip. You see, I have to glue this one down a little bit more. I really like the look of torn watercolor paper. That's just kind of a really neat, natural look. And I'm gonna take this one off here. Oops. And something about this piece really speaks to me. It has so much texture in it, just colors that I find really beautiful. And I think this was when I was cleaning off my palette. I had a toned piece of Strathmore paper, that brown toned, I think it's called tan, and then I had just placed it down over top of my paint as it was drying in my Stay Wet palette. And if I recall, that is how I got that beautiful technique in there. And so I'm just gonna tear this one off. I'll try not to rip it too much the wrong way. There we go. And some days I was really sticking with a color palette that was familiar, that I liked. You'll kind of see the color palettes that I have chosen in a second here. Seems I either go with the black and white, the Payne's gray, that dark navy, and the turquoise, that phthalo turquoise, or I tend to go for these lighter peachy pink colors with neutrals and fluorescent reds. So the other thing that's interesting is when you choose to do a collage or a mixed media piece, what do you kind of constantly crave in your work for colors and lines and textures? And, you know, you can go on Pinterest or Instagram, or, you know, getting a creative magazine, going to the library and really picking out other artists' collage work and deciding what is it that you find really appealing, if anything, in other artists' mixed media work, and how can you pull in your own voice while also keeping some of those elements from the other artists that may have inspired you. This is a piece that I believe I had sort of blotted again a palette to get all of that crazy background color, and I loved the texture, that sort of reticulated pattern, and then I had used carbon black acrylic ink over top. And I do like the ink, especially if, say, this was a canvas or a wood panel, because I could varnish over top and the ink wouldn't move. Where I have been still struggling to find a really good black permanent pen that's about that width. So if anyone has a recommendation, please put it in the comments. I've tried several, and I know there was a couple recommendations. I believe one might have been by Prismacolor. I know there's the Micron pens, but I'm not sure if they have a thick pen. But yeah, any suggestions, because I find I often deal with smudging, even if a pen says that it's permanent and I wait a couple days. So I wanted to just show you though a technique I learned for matting these. So again, in the video that I had done posted yesterday, I had told you about these matte kits that I had purchased from Matte Kit Canada. So they come with these crystal clear sleeves and a beautiful mat. This is a 5 by 7 inch image opening mat that fits an 8 by 10 inch frame. So this piece measures 8 by 10 inches, and then I would need my image to be 5 by 7 inches. And it also the matte kits come with these pre-cut foam core boards. Now you can go to the Dollarama here in Canada and purchase a large sheet of this foam core and cut it yourself with an X-Acto knife, although it's quite tedious and time consuming. So it depends on your budget. If you can get the pre-cut, the matte kit, which has the foam core, the mat, and the crystal clear sleeve. So this is just really handy because I find it just takes all the legwork out of going and finding the mat that you want with the crystal clear bag that is the perfect fit, as well as that foam core backing. And I'll also show you, I had run out of my foam core backings because I was getting a lot of print orders. And so I have all of these mats, but when I would get an order for an 8 by 10 inch print through my printer, I was stealing the foam core backing. So today, just before the video, I decided to cut my own out of like a corrugated, just cardboard, a cardboard box. And you can kind of get the same lightweight protective effects. So if I was shipping these in these matte kits, I would have added protection. I would probably have 2 pieces of the foam core and then the artwork sitting in between. But just so you know, if you're on a budget, cardboard works just great. And what I would do, I'll just show you with this one, for instance. Try to remember which way is up. I'm gonna take some painter's tape, but you can use like Japanese washi tape or you know, any kind of tape, but just to protect everything, you would want a tape that might be fairly easy to get off. Now this was a technique I learned by an artist out of Chicago, a wonderful artist, Amanda Evanston. I was taking one of her classes, and she, or was it a business course? But she had kind of, I'm not sure I'm going to be doing this exactly, but there was a way, because I've been using framing tape and it's such a nuisance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up approximately and hold my finger on it as I move the mat. And she, I think, does pencil marks just as to where. I think what she would do is, it's been a long time, But on the foam core or your cardboard, you want to put a piece of tape in order to put another piece of tape in the opposite direction, so vertically, so it doesn't actually go on the front of the artwork, if that makes sense. So she would do like a little pencil mark in each corner and then remove the mat, put this in alignment with the pencil marks, which I'm a bit lazy. So I have my piece of tape here, and then what you're gonna do is so you need 3 pieces of tape. I think I'm doing this right. So I'm going to turn this over and put some tape right here on the back of the painting that will be easy for the client to take off if they want to reframe it. And then the sticky side is up and the non-sticky side is down. And what you would do is you would use a longer piece of the same tape across. So you're just taping in that vertical strip. And so that is just such a brilliant framing technique to use. I wish I knew that much earlier in my career. But anyway, so again, we'll do another one, but putting that tape down and then with the sticky side up, getting that tape vertically on the back of your artwork and then going across to secure it. And then, so if you were to sell this, somebody may decide they don't want to, you know, have it in this color mat. They may not want to use the mat, or, you know, keep the mat, but at least there's no artwork. You know, historically, I am probably guilty of taping the artwork to the back of the mat because you don't know how someone is going to want to frame the art. So, you know, this probably only is relevant if you're selling or showing your work or sending it to someone. So, you know, you may just want to skip through this part of my video today. But I am left with, again, if the client wants to take this right off, this tape will not tear. I did tear a bit of this artwork, so it's not the best example, but it also, I can have another look at it, and I do know I have left out my signature. Some artists will sign right on the mat. They'll number, say, the artworks if it's like, say, a collection of collage pieces. And I also know that I want to add the title, my name, and the date, as well as what substrate or what medium this is on the back of the artwork. But it's pretty much ready to be stored once you've done that and kept clean. Now you can buy biodegradable crystal clear bags, but I have found I would just worry about them actually biodegrading too quickly if I'm storing my art before a show. So that makes me a bit nervous. On the back here, you just would take off this adhesive and then you can just close it. You can slip in, I've been using bookmarks. You can slip in a bookmark or sticker, or actually I have to show you, I just got these stickers made. I don't know what your thoughts are. Stickers seem to be a big thing right now for kids to keep in their iPhone cases. So these are really affordable. I had these stickers printed, what was the name? Oh my goodness, it's a local place here in Calgary. The name has just slipped my mind, in Westbrook Mall here, but I can always link it. But I'm just wondering your thoughts on these. Are, I think they're called, I'm a bit tired today of their die cut. Does that make sense? It's like cutting right around the image of your art. This is my art poetry painting titled Keep It Simple. And I was thinking of art in a sticker that was just in, say, a simple shape like a square or a rectangle. But this is actually cut around every little detail of the image. I'm not sure what you think of that, if you think that's something that you like or you don't like. Do you like getting stickers if you purchase art from an artist, or do you feel it's wasteful for the environment? I know there's different thoughts on that. I'm just gonna take off my our weather has really changed here today, and I have this cold pack and I Velcro it around my head, and it is so good. So I forgot I had that on, and I'm just gonna take it off. And I have a laugh. One time I answered the front door and I had this on, and it looked like this big blue crown, and this guy was biking by, and it was so funny. He did a double take because I think I was in my bathrobe too, but I just didn't care. My head felt good. Okay, back to where I was. You can slip in your business card or whatever. You can seal this up and it will be pretty much ready to go. Again, if you're mailing it flat, which from Canada, our mail system is really particular. It's really, really costly for artists to send anything above the size of letter mail in the mail. The price jumps from, say, $5 to $10 to send a piece of art to over $30 Canadian. So again, that's more if it's converted to US or Australian dollars. And I'm not sure why I'm telling you this, but shipping your art flat, just making sure that you don't have any ability for anyone to bend it, and you want to keep out moisture, so that is why it's good to have this crystal clear bag. It keeps it clean. And the other thing is, if you can get the post to put a sticker saying do not bend, or writing that on there, that's a great way to do it. So that's one. And then we can just, with our cardboard, we can do another one, or maybe a couple. So I'm just gonna put my piece of tape again, so approximately I'll just kind of approximate the marks. I'll make sure I've put everything on the back, my name, the title, signature. Now these aren't cut to 5x7, so I'm gonna kind of play around with them a little bit. How do I want that? I like that. And sometimes when you see it in a frame, you see that it might be unfinished. Maybe it needs a few more details. Whoops. I don't really have any rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. It's so funny because I don't do it that often. I'm drawing a blank, but you would put the tape, that's probably quite long. I'm gonna split the tape. This is actually quite expensive painter's tape that I bought, so when I do the edges of my watercolor paper, so I don't rip it. Okay, so we'll just say approximately here. And then do another piece over top. And we'll fold that down for good measure. And there I'm sort of out of alignment, but you get the gist of it. We'll do one more, and we'll just see if your cardboard's not perfectly cut to, say, the 8x10 inch. It may not fit in the crystal clear bag, so just to be mindful of that. And then we'll just do this one. I'm sure some of you are watching and like, you know, there's a much easier way. Like when you are watching on the video, you have just this way of sort of seeing something that could be done maybe more like in a more simplified way. So I have a laugh because I'm sure a lot of you are thinking this is overly complicated, and it probably is the way I'm doing it. I find I have to do things regularly, definitely more than a handful of times, like framing these to get in a rhythm. Just kind of take a guess at the center. Ooh, that tape really sticks. Oh my goodness. And this is painter's tape, but it sticks to itself in a really strong way. Okay. That's kind of off again. But again, you get the point of this process. So if this was something I had purchased, I can take off this. And this painter's tape it's supposed to be fairly easy to get off the back of watercolor paper. I feel like it is really strong. It's so funny. Oh, yeah, I'm tearing it. Guess I'm keeping this one. Okay, but anyway, the green painter's tape or the blue painter's tape might be better for this process. But just some tips on the mat kits and how to use them, or how I like to use them. And it's just a really good way to see your art in a different way. Okay, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this video is just, okay, getting back into the swing of things. I am going to just maybe introduce you, since my art deck is being restocked, my Art Poetry 71 card art deck. I will be restocking it on my website this September, hopefully. And I just wanted to share with you another artist that I swapped decks with during Alina Hennessy's course, Make Your Own Art Deck. And it was Judy Lanfredi. So I'll link her Instagram or her website. And she had made this beautiful Wisdom of the Sacred Oracle art deck. And she'd put in some stickers. This is probably the second or third time I've actually looked at this, just because I've been quite busy this summer and not really in work mode. She had mailed it to me, I think back in June or July. And she included a reference guide, which is wonderful. You can just check out this magnetic box. Really, really beautifully done. And she has this gold edging, similar to what I have on my cards. Has a bit of a sparkle, so it's very beautiful. And I haven't read the directions, but I'm just gonna have fun and pick a card. These cards are stiff because I haven't been using them, so I will have to use them more frequently and break them in. And let's just pick this card today. And I love that I chose this card, Abundance. So I wish for all of you that are watching today that you have abundance in your life, coming into your life, an abundance of gratitude. For me, when I create art, I create in quantity, high quantities, lots and lots of work. So, and I feel like what you put into it is what you get back. So I have an abundance of artwork that I can't wait to finish. And she has in here the word. Just seeing if she has the word abundance in here. And maybe you're seeing it and I'm missing it. How to use this deck, that's what I should be looking at. So she talks a lot about chakras and soul connection. Oh, here we go. So under the word she chose abundance, she also chose bountiful, plentiful, and rich. And I believe that's a pomegranate, and I love how rich the colors are, and just seeing this word rich. And also plentiful with the animals in the background and the fruit and the botanicals, this beautiful little bird at the bottom. Her artwork is really lovely. And it reminds me of the art deck we looked at yesterday that was by Kim Dill's Soul Seeking Seed with the animals and the plants. And I just wanted to do a little flip through of her cards, see if I can warm them up a bit. Vision, grounding, emergence, magic. So just so you get a little bit of the idea of the artwork, Grace, I really like that one. You can see she has a very cohesive color palette in here. That's beautiful. Deeper truths with all those butterflies. Yeah, so I won't go through all of these, but it was really fun participating in the course, because when we were able to get to the publishing phase, a lot of the students are still sort of working to that. But for those of us that got to that final phase of publishing our deck, it was fun to be able to swap it with each other. This one I really like, Beacon of Light. And then we have Abundance, Bloom. So yeah, gosh, there's a lot of cards in here. This is a really beautiful deck, beautiful gift. And again, that's Judy Lanfredi at judylanfredi.com. So Wisdom of the Sacred Oracle, I will link that in my description of my video today, as well as I will link Mat Shop Canada, so you know where to get those mat kits, especially if you're in Canada. And I know there is an equivalent in the US, I just can't recall the name. And I think I'll probably end the video here today. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm really trying to just get back into the rhythm of videos, because I have taken a break since, I think July, and it just feels like I need to get in a rhythm. And I'm gonna just grab my art deck, which is in these crystal clear sleeves, because it was the last one I had, and it was on display at an art show like this, just so someone could see what was inside the box. And let's just pick this one. And that's so funny, because Keep It Simple is the sticker that I was just showing you, the die cut sticker. And oh, I do recall the name of the place here in Calgary that does these stickers, and they're just starting to advertise this process on their website. They're called Evoked, and they're a printing place. They do framing of canvas prints. You can purchase artist canvas prints there. Not mine, because I have my own printer, but I do get the stickers through them. So this is Keep It Simple. And I think I need to put this on the back of my iPhone. I won't do it now because I'll probably lose you all, but you can just see this is, yeah, just it's a beautiful sticker. Let me know what you think about that die cut look. I suppose it works with some images more than others, and it really seems to be trending with some of the younger folks here in Calgary. I know my niece, who is a teenager, has a lot of these in the back of her clear phone case. Okay, I'm digressing. Keep it simple. Just remembering, I think it's easy to feel overwhelmed, and a life can be so overwhelming. There can always be so many moving parts, and really just tapping into your creativity is such a beautiful practice, even if that's just watching a video or flipping through a book or a magazine. Just, you know, taking a photo in nature, going for a walk. And when things feel overwhelming, just remembering to keep it simple. So, you know, just starting by picking a color that you may just be feeling like putting down on a white page or a blank canvas. And, you know, if that's all that you want to do in that moment, that's fine. And it'll be there for you when you're ready to go back to it. So, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for watching my videos. Take care.